Hello people and welcome back to News Review. This week there are 3 new free cards, most notably the 6th sealed boss, Lucifer. He is getting a VR, and you might notice we are on the Chinese news. That's because Mad Head has made questionable decisions once again. Basically, long story short, is that they decided to release a buff to the card before the card's out. People say this is a way to generate like popularity, something basically upon like the weekly thing, because people will be like, oh, the card's bad if the patch, if the news comes out and the card's bad, and then they release, the card skills that they were planning to do all along. But then what often ends up happening is that the card like doesn't really get talked about anyway, and then they release what the card was supposed to be anyway. But the whole purpose of that is to say that they didn't actually put the new skills, or not completely anyway, on the English version, so just bear with me as I'm going to just basically do some live translating here. The English images just aren't correct. They still have the old skills that are or part of them anyway. This is more accurate is all I'm trying to say. So for Lucifer's VR in his original form, first off, when he's a member, all the Lucifer attack will synchronize with each other. When there's Lucifer and Luna in the team, Luna will follow the attack of Lucifer. Lucifer's and Luna's CD -4 upon entering the stage. Luna's active gets stronger, basically gets buffed with this second point, which is that when you defeat enemies, her effect stays and doesn't reduce the round count. When you have Lucifer and Michael as members, then Michael will become light, and Michael's attack will also follow Lucifer. So that is all the team skills, the new team skills. For his active, he gets 2 actives, basically more powerful than before of his original form, both CD6. For the first active, ignore step damage, basically reduces step damage to 1. Light members attack reduced to 10%, demon members attack reduced to 0, and add the deducted attack times 2.5 into its own attack. The whole team ignores initial shield and quintet elemental shield, and all those are basically the stat on the left hand corner. This skill can be deactivated whenever you want, and when you deactivate it, skill CD -1. That is part of why I put the card up here. That is quite good. There are only a few light gods that ignore initial shield, 2 in fact, both of them being a previous collab. One is Boros from One Punch Man and King and Queen from Sailor Moon. For light gods that ignore quintet elemental shield, you have Thor, who specifically needs light gods in the team to work. Whoever the frick this is from Ava, I believe, and the Angelmon from Digimon. For its second active, it explodes water, fire, and earth runestones to generate enchanted light, dark, and heart runestones, and turns light and dark runestones into god runestones. If Luna is in the team, then instead of exploding water, fire, and earth, you just remove the entire board to generate a fixed board of enchanted god, light, dark, and heart runestones. This board will be just 6 columns of alternating runestones, and for 1 round, light, dark, and heart have 200% effect of each other. For his other form, this is the VR form that is not similar to the original, basically. It has the same skill with Luna, none of the other ones though. This other form also has 2 actives, both also CD6. The first one turns all the enemies into dark. Light damage increases against dark enemies. These 2 effects will be present for 2 rounds. And for 2 rounds, every member launches an extra light attack once. For its second active, it removes Tornado for 1 round, self-attack times 6, self-ignore equal combo shield, and tap the board to generate 3 crosses basically of Enchanted Light, Enchanted Dark, and Enchanted Heart. This will be very useful in solving a triple cross shields. And if you happen to defeat all the enemies, then it's CD -4. For light cards that ignore equal combo shield, there are only 2 right now. One is Una, the recent black gold, and the other one is the Fortress Machina whatever from a couple weeks ago. So this is actually the first light god that can ignore equal combo shield. Very nice. Alright, let's switch back to the English version for the rest of this. First off, we have a new challenge card, Soho Takwan. Earth Demon CD6, the first demon with the highest attack from the left, launches 5 extra attacks of 1 attribute each, as much as 50% of its attack, and its damage will also ignore initial shield. This skill stays in play until that demon launches no attack in the round. Basically, quite a good card. There are 2 previous demons that launch quintet attacks, one being this fire demon, whose name I can't remember the name of. I think he's in the LR pass, and the other is Ben, a previous Era of Novelty jackpot. And then lastly, we have a bi-weekly card, Dark Elf, Naki Haikuji, CD5, basically the light version of the bi-weekly card from last week. You tap runestones, turn them into crosses. It basically has some synergy with Jubei Yagyu, but probably you won't use this card in Jubei Yagyu because it kind of sucks. Alright, moving on to the celebration events, there are 2 things here that are notable. One is, of course, the returning ultimate stage of Michael, which is this card, has some synergy with Lucifer. If your whole team is gods, then you can get a lot of extra attacks out of this card. This 4th point, I do hope they change, although I'm like fairly certain they've forgotten about changing this card at all, because it says if there is Wings of Chaos Lucifer in the team, restore all cracked positions. However, this card is no longer called Wings of Chaos Lucifer, it's called Wings of Blind Fury Lucifer, which is not the same card, and they will most likely forget about this card, and therefore the cracked position skill will just be lost to the ether. Unfortunate that this has happened to many cards before, so I won't be surprised if they just don't change this at all. Lucifer's own Nightmare stage will also be back, although you can find him just in the LR pass like usual. There's another returning ultimate stage of Zada. This is not a good card. I don't even want to say what it does. I don't remember this card existing. I've never used it in my life. What is good though is that there are new stages in the LR pass. These cards are actually quite good, notably Seashire, a very nice dark elf card that can help you generate a quintet runestones, and Pangu, who is a dark god that has a unique time tunnel effect. And for bi-weeklies, Delta is one that is semi-useful, a fire machina that deducts your HP, turns it into its own attack. Very high multiplier on its own attack, so sometimes it's used. And yeah, that is that. The power released Lucifer will be available for VR on the 17th of April. That is it for this week's news review. If you liked it, please leave a like. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. And if you like this in general, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!